All right, folks.
Okay, introducing our one, our only,
One and only.
Dr. Pat Carrington. Yay!
Okay, this is going to be fun. This is our chance to give ourselves 3 really lovely gifts. And they are intangible, but they are worth more than the tangible could possibly be. So you're going to be using choices method for this, and realize that, I'll give you one rule, only one, that when you're using the choices method, never choose for anybody else. Suppose you had a family member that you wished would behave in a wonderfully holiday-ish way. You're not to choose that they are. You don't choose anything for them to do at all. You choose the way you want to feel about them, and about the holidays, and about everything in life. You choose your own feelings. And the reason is because we all have free will, and you don't impose it on anyone else. Okay. All right. Now, having said that, which is school teacherish, we'll now go to what we're going to do. The first thing for you to do, you'll write down 3 different holiday gifts. You're going to make them up in the spaces below, and you don't have to tell them to anyone else. You may be sharing some of them when we lead some of you through something, maybe. We don't know. But you're going to write down 3 gifts that would be so great if in this holiday you received these feelings. Now, for your first gift, you're going to write the name. Get the 3 gifts first. Get them down. Put them down. Take your time. I'm going to put mine.
Now, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
When you talked about you don't choose for anyone else, can I choose for myself to have freedom from other people?
Of course.
Okay.
You can choose anything. You can choose. You can choose anything for yourself that you want to.
Okay.
Yeah. That is no limit what you can choose. You could choose to fly over the mountaintops, but I doubt you will, but I think you could. So we are free in our imagination. We are free in our choice. Okay. The 3 things that we really, really.
So Pat, in what you wrote down here, were you pick people that we want to have characteristics to emulate those characteristics? Or
We don't have to have people involved. We'll get down to what you do with it in a minute. But the people there might be nobody involved in this wish. It might be that you were alone on a mountaintop, that you can do that. But we don't know what you're going to choose. It can be a health issue. It can be, as I said, it can be a relationship issue, but it can be a financial issue. It can be, and that's fine. But you don't. You choose to have the awareness of that feeling that a certain kind of person you're going to choose has about wealth. You're going to get to that in a moment. Has everyone got 3 already? Okay. What about you?
Got 3.
You got 3? Gosh, such easy people to work with. Good Lord. All right. All right. Now we're going to work on the first of these, the first one that you had. And the first, what I want you to do is write the name of a person or an animal, something alive. I suppose it could be a tree or something of that sort if you wanted it. But anyway, but it needs to be a role model for you. It's a person or an animal that embodies exactly the feeling you want to have. Whatever it is you want to acquire, write down that living being. Okay? Or the memory of it. It could be a memory of a living being. that you knew in childhood, for a matter of fact. So long as, or excuse me, it could be that you're going to write down somebody that you admired in history books, or that you've seen on television in an interview, or that you have, or even a fictional character, if they're well described in a novel, or a character in a movie or a play. They can, or it can be any number of animals. It can be a wild animal species that you admired and saw in video or whatever medium. Or it could be your own animal that you had once when you were a little child, or now. It can be any animal. Oh, animals are wonderful role models. But we don't usually think of using them as that, but they are. So let's see what comes to mind as the first. You can put down two, one, the first that comes to your mind and the second, because we may go through this twice.
So 2 people for our first gift, or do
2
one
people
and
for
2?
the first gift. We're not even towards the second yet. We're nowhere near the second, and if we never get there, it's okay. We're going to do the first, and you learn how to do it, and you can do it at home. Now, if everyone has the name of a person or an animal, we're going to start. And I'm going to ask you to, it's on the second page, number 4, and I'd like to have all of you repeat it after me. Even though my experience in this area, and the area can be health, wealth, fun, delight, belonging, trust, love, etc. It is lacking in some important respects right now. I choose to be like, and in your own mind, you don't have to say it out loud, choose who you want to be like. Okay? So I'm going to say it, and you fill in your mind, your role model, your resource state. And we can, then we'll tap it and say, I choose to, after we've said this on the karate chop spot, those who know choices, and you don't have to do it, Diane.
I'd be happy to do it if I
But
could
you
be
can
done.
do it if you want to watch what other
Okay.
people do. It's a very nice thing, but it isn't essential here. And you're going to do it then for yourself for the whole round. You will be saying the name of this person to yourself. You can say it out loud. You can shout it if you want, but you don't have to. So there are one more important thing to remind you. It is not necessary to emulate every aspect of this person. Then you don't have to have their hairdo. You don't have to have their husband, their children, their beauty parlor. You don't need, and you don't need their hang-ups either. You just need this one quality that you want to emulate. Okay. And it's an inspiration. So, don't get thinking you have to take the whole thing, swallow the whole deal. You don't. Okay. All right? So, we're going to do, you know what it is now, and I'm going to stop after each little phrase and have you repeat after me. Okay? Okay? All right. Even though my experience in this area, and you know the areas you're talking about, so say that. Even though
my experience in this area
is lacking in some important respects.
is lacking in some important respects,
I choose to be like and think who you want to be like. Say, I choose to be like. Okay. And then we're going to say it again. You say it 3 times, you know, on the, we're tapping on this spot, this between the base knuckle of the pinky and between the base knuckle of the pinky and the wrist bone. We just tap. We don't do anything else. So we're going to say it again. Even though my experience in this area, and you add the area, is lacking in some important respects.
Choose to be like.
I choose to be like. 3rd time. Even though my experience in this area
is lacking in some important respects.
Now
I choose to be like.
All right, now we're going to go around, and at each tapping point, if we're tapping, and Diane, you don't have to tap, but you can if you want. We allow it. Okay, so we're going to say the name just in our own mind of the resource, person, or animal that we are going to be modeling ourselves after in this respect. So say their name in your mind. Their name in your mind. And they could be a group of people. They don't have to be a single person, by the way. And under I, say their name. Under nose, say their name. Under mouth, say their name. Collarbone, say their name. Underarm, say their name. And top of head, say their name. Now take an easy breath in, let it out slowly. Okay, now think for a moment about the situation and the gift you would like to have. And see how possible it feels to you that you could feel that way as they do. And put down on a 0 to 10 point scale how possible you think it is at this point to be that way. How possible does it feel to you to be that way? It can be on a 0 to 10 point scale. Just put it down. This is your initial. This isn't your initial. Your initial was what you felt before we did it. I didn't remember that I had to do it. Excuse me, I have something in my throat. Okay. Okay. Now, we're going to do it again, but this time you can use either another person or animal as an example of the same thing that you want. Or you can repeat this same one. It doesn't make any difference, whichever you feel like doing. So I'm going to say it again. And you're going to start tapping on the karate chop spot. You're doing beautifully, Diane. Thank you. Okay. Even though my experience in this area
Even though my experience in this area
is lacking in some important respects.
is lacking in some important respects.
Now,
Now.
I choose to be like, and you think of this role model. Okay? We do it again, we do it 3 times. Even though my experience in this area is lacking in some important respects now, I choose to be like. And we're going to do it one more time. even though my experience in this area of is lacking in some important respects now,
Is lacking in some important respects.
I choose to be like. Okay, and now we're going to go around, beginning in the inner eyebrow. We'll go all around, and we're going to repeat in our minds, so we'll be nice and quiet. We'll repeat in our minds the name or if they're a group, the group that is our role model. So we start here, repeating that name every tapping spell. I'm going to suggest, by the way, that it's a wonderful thing during the holidays to just do the tapping that involves the name or the designation of the group that you want to be like. Just that, when you're at a red light, when you are waiting in line in the bank, when you're waiting in line in the post office or anywhere else. It's a great idea. And the more you repeat that and get that visualization and that energy going in you, the more closer and closer you come to that goal. It is amazing how role models teach us. And we know that, theoretically, but this is allowing it to happen in our own way. Now I want you to you should have taken an initial one, and you can estimate what you think your score would have been before we did the tapping, and you'll probably be very accurate. And now put down your score again. How on a 0 to 10-point scale, how true, how possible do you feel it is to be this way now during the holidays, beginning during the holidays? Okay? All right, we're going to go around and get some responses. You, Terry, what was your first, excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Well, my first was like a 7. That was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like more like a, it just wasn't to be. And then I felt that during the tapping, I had to adjust to the idea that this person was so big in my mind, and how I could release the resistance I had to being like that person.
Oh, very good.
And then as I thought about that, because that's what came up, then I said, geez, I might even be better than her. I could probably out, you don't know. You don't know once you put your mind to it. So, but that's what I felt first, was a resistance to that, the individual that I thought of. So.
That's a very good insight, and you do need a little more tapping on it for
That's
that,
right.
for the resistance.
For the resistance.
Or the hesitation,
Yeah.
or the feeling, I couldn't do that. They're so wonderful.
Yeah, that really,
They're
accomplished
just
a lot.
ideal. Yeah.
PBS special,
Okay,
all that
let's-
stuff.
Let's hear what you have.
Yeah, at first I probably would have said 4, and then afterwards I probably would say a 10 after the first round. But it's interesting, in the second round,
So
another...
a positive 4 to a positive 10?
Yeah, like a 10 is like, I definitely
Yeah,
have
because
it.
Yeah.
Just to go the
if
other
we
way.
look at this scale,
You want
we
it
look
to be
at
the other way?
we'll look at this scale here, so everybody, we're on the same scale.
Okay.
All right, so here we'll have, really, really never, I'll never get it, to 0, whoops, feel it, unbalanced scale, 2 plus 10, okay? 5 plus 5 plus 1,
Yeah.
minus 1, minus 5. But, it's not a balanced scale right now, but you know what I mean.
So I would say I went from a +4 to a +10.
Okay, so you went here to here.
But when I was tapping the second time, it was interesting. Somebody else came to me that might have this quality. It's not even somebody I know well, so then I started
No, it doesn't
tapping,
need to be anybody you know at
alternating
all.
between the two, because I can borrow it from both of them.
So, where did you end up, did you say?
10.
Again,
Yeah.
the second time, but
Yeah.
a different 10.
Yeah.
Okay,
10.
that's good. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. So your homework is to repeat the name of that
Both of
now
these
you've got two good people.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to want to repeat one or the other and try to get them both in at different times
Yeah.
of the day. So
Yeah.
you've got two resources, and you could have more. We mean we're not limiting any of you. So
Oh yeah, I like that scale, everybody. So you know if it's in a negative way or if it's or you don't like that.
I'm not big into negative numbers, but that's I'm just not into math, but that's it doesn't appeal to me at all. But you asked, I'm just being honest.
And I got another thing now. What let me
Don't worry about it. It's
Well,
just
because 0 is really, can be your negative.
I-
I'd rather smiley faces.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm on the same page.
Yeah, the numbers don't do it for me.
Yeah, here we go.
Well, the numbers have to go.
yes.
Sesame seeds.
Oh my God. Ames
All right.
used to do that. Thank you.
No, just other ones.
The EFT ones I usually is very
Yeah, but a lot of other ones use the zero.
oh, I love it.
That's good.
This one is with a little
Too,
mouth
to
and
know
a
where.
tongue. She's going, yay! And
Just
this
negative
one's
is not
just
enough.
going,
It's like how that.
yeah, I'm happy.
How far
Okay, we get it.
Yay.
And this one will be
Have a
just,
good time up there.
okay, guys? I
just saw an assessment
And the
done that
middle
way. I
one
don't
there.
remember what it
No,
was from,
yeah.
but it was
And the
nice.
middle
That's
one
what it
is,
was.
I was like, this is
They
from
still
the
need to
middle.
work.
I love
There's
it. I
something-
love it.
I think there's going to be an entitlement
Okay.
culture.
All right.
Oh, it's here.
Well, how
Maybe
did
we
we-
could be all
Maybe it's
different
already
faces
there.
of expressions for the mannequins.
True.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
So, now your story.
Yeah, I don't do good with numbers and scales and picking things in general.
You don't have to.
I don't, yeah, so
Yeah,
I
it doesn't make
I
it.
wrote 3 words down, I wrote 3 people down, and they're all
But did
kind
you
of in a
feel it
pot.
was very likely that, well, just what would you, if in your own language, what did you feel before you started about the possibility? Did you just, could you imagine it easily in you?
I can imagine easily.
Anything in yourself?
All of
That's
myself.
fabulous.
Mm.
That's wonderful.
So it's,
Very few people can do that.
it's where I live
They have
sometimes.
blocks. No, that's true. They have blocks to imagining certain ways. If they
Meat
didn't,
cherry.
we'd be there'd be much more flexibility in what people
Sometimes
can
it
do.
doesn't present outwardly like that at times, but
Yeah.
for inside myself, yeah, it's like a playground.
So, did you find any difference? Plus, minus, or neither one, but just
Well, the
different?
middle, that's why the middle one felt more, neutral. I feel kind of neutral a lot of times.
More in a curious place.
Yeah, it's when I'm
So
in-
that's
when
where-
I'm, if I
that's
was
where
in,
you
if I was
started?
in either of those places, I wouldn't be here.
So you started there.
I started
Yeah.
there and I'm still there.
And you're kind of still there.
right.
That sounds
And that's
good to me.
comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, now how would you like to do, what would you like to do as your experiment? Daily, whenever you get at a red light and you're sitting there.
It's funny you said that whenever you're chooses look for surprise every day, that's your first thing. I have that. Remember your.
Mm-hmm.
I only have that one in my phone to repetitively go up, and I left it there because I couldn't really move past that because there's too many things to do. So that when something happens, that's more. And not that it hadn't happened before I read that, it did, but now I'm more aware of that. So the 3 things I wrote and 3 people, I wrote 3 people down. I'm just gonna add that into that because that
Okay.
just works.
Well, then we'll hear from you after the holidays.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
January, what's the second
So
week
you
of January is our meeting, so we're going to have to see how everybody did.
Right. I would expect. I'm not thinking about the thing right now. I can think about the thing that probably I should have thought of, but I'd prefer to think about something more positive to think about, and not worry about the thing that is here that I don't even want to think about it because it would take care of itself. So I'm going to expect a surprise. Does that make sense?
Okay. Expect a surprise.
And that's from her. That's from her
Another
first.
lifetime over here.
Her PDF. That first
that's
thing
right.
was expect a surprise. I read it and I put it in there. And
I choose to be surprised.
choose to
That's
be
right.
surprised.
I choose to be
I love that.
surprised.
I love it.
that.
Right.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I choose to be surprised.
Okay, Anne, let's hear from you where you
Right.
started.
Well, I picked a person and an animal.
Oh, good. I'm glad somebody picked an
I
animal.
picked my dog. That's not very nice. And it started out as a 3, and when I tapped it, it was like an 8, and it kind of made
Started as a
second.
3, and then you
And
ended
that's it.
at 7 or an 8.
An 8.
An 8.
Yeah, but at some point in between, I did something I think like you did, and I went, well, how do I know if they're really happy? You know, like I started to tap, and I was like, maybe they just look that way when I look at them from my eyes. You know, so I
It
was
doesn't make any difference.
Maybe
It
they're
makes
like
no
me, they're just
difference.
not happy. They're always happy when I see them, but
Yeah.
that was so. When
That
you
was
said
good,
I was like,
yeah.
oh.
It really doesn't make any difference because what you are wanting to access is a mood in yourself.
Oh,
And if you feel it,
Mm-hmm.
that's all you need to do, to tap on it. You don't have to know whether that real person, if there is such a thing as a real
what I-
separate
That's a
person.
good
What I
distinction
Out
for me, 'cause
there.
that gets the resistance out of the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm accessing a mood, not who they are.
Right.
That's right.
That was good.
And you're not, and you're accessing your own mood is what you're doing.
Right.
You're stimulating it by what you think they are. So it doesn't make a bit of difference if it was a dog that was wagging his tail and you weren't sure he was happy. He looked. You'd like to look the way you'd like to feel the way he looked. Yeah, yeah. That's good. That's great. Okay, Stephanie.
Okay, so I love this, and I had a little epiphany because you probably said it that you could literally you choose a resource person for absolutely everything.
Yes.
Yes.
And so I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to like think about, you know, like whatever comes up, basically be in the moment with that, and then just come up with like a resource person. So I went from like a 3 to a 7.
Great.
And I realized if I did more tapping on it, it could easily be a 10.
It'll be a 10.
But I picked joy. And joy is my theme for the year. I always pick a theme for the year. So 2017 is my theme. It's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
can
joy.
feel it in you too.
Yeah, so it's funny because Terry gave me the book, and I just wrote it. That joy was my theme for the year, and you know we were talking about all that. Same
Yeah, we were
stuff.
talking about it in the car. Yeah.
So this is really great, and this little epiphany that wow, you could really use it very quickly. It could be like a very doesn't have to be a whole big huge formal
No.
thing. It could happen so fast.
You can have.
Like that person's so happy. Yeah, give me some of that. You know,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
I'll get some of that. You know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And actually, I haven't done this myself, but now that you say it, we could do this on the spot. We see someone across a room, maybe, who looks just the way, oh, I'd love to feel that way, you know, that kind of thing. How great. And you just start, you don't have to do it with your hands, you can do it in your mind, you know. You know, people might think it's a little strange.
Doing it at the bank.
Yeah, you don't necessarily. But the point is, you see what you want, and then all of a sudden, that person across the room, that person across the room, that person, the way they feel, that person, the way they feel, that person, the way they feel, you know, that kind of thing. And you've got it locked in. And there are any number of things you can do with it. I mean, you could have a little notebook at night. You write down the names of some of the people you saw that you would like to emulate. I think adding to the number of people who represent what you want is a very enriching thing to do. And I haven't done it to the extent I think I could either.
Yes, which is true. I think that just that the whole point of, you know, it's accessing the energetic state, the vibration. That's what you want, that energetic state, and to raise your own vibration. And placing yourself in a position to let it enter in, or to raise your vibration to that level, to make that a possibility for yourself. So, joy. Okay, what does joy mean? What does it feel like? Who have I seen to be very joyful?
Yeah.
Curiosity. Who would I like to mimic in curiosity? How does she get there, Sherry, to that curious state that she lives in? You know, I want to access some of that. So I can think of her, and I can feel that frequency and vibration. And I take on the frequency and that vibration.
Yeah, that's right.